Don't look under the internet.
If it doesn't,
I'll fuck it.
Yeah, we'll just have to deal with it.
How to open this? Whatever.
I have nothing to help with that. You're on your own. That's what you get for getting a stupid pop top. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, a show where Jason attempts to open a beer but can't. That's Jason.
Hello.
That's Moot.
Hello.
Doug can fuck off. He's not here today.
Look how stupid he
fuck
looks.
Doug.
He does look stupid. Yeah, Doug's not here today. So, and then it's me, everyone's favorite man, Rip Torn. No, you gotta dive, dip, dodge. I don't know. He's
Status
You got some of
update.
that right. Yeah.
Ray
right
Romano
there.
still alive.
He's still alive.
He is.
Still doing the damn thing.
He made it.
I am no longer.
He made the death noting.
The
death
one that got
noting.
away.
I have to take him out personally now. Yeah, this is Don't Look Under the Internet, a show about
Internet horror comedy.
internet
if you will.
horror comedy, if you will.
Whoa.
I got
no
through
nonsense,
the whole
Mike.
thing.
That wasn't even me.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that
he
was
said
me.
it. He repeated it, though.
He
That's
did
true.
repeat it, and he didn't go off the rails about it. I'm
That's
so
true.
proud of him.
You know what I will go off the rails about? Is I just want to express my love one more time for Ghoulish Mortals in St. Charles, Illinois.
Hell
And
yeah.
that if you go there and mention Diluti sent you, they smile.
With their other mouth.
Yeah, so
I don't know
that's
what that means, but
Go to St. Charles, Illinois, and go to Ghoulish Mortals. You'll get a bunch of creepy, cool prints and horror items and themed things. They're lovely and wonderful. I got a bunch of cool prints. You got a bunch of cool prints. Matt,
Mhm.
you don't, but next time you're
No,
up here,
I will. I'm sure.
We'll take you. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
also literally thinking about this yesterday, and it took me way too long to realize that Ghoulish Mortals was like a play on like Foolish Mortals.
Foolish
Yeah.
mortal.
I don't know
Oh, yeah.
how it took me that long.
I don't either. It's pretty much painted
It's
on the
pretty
wall.
obvious. Yeah. Pretty obvious.
You know what's obvious is what this next segment is when I put my hands in the air, because then I go Diluti.
Clap.
Housekeeping.
Above your head.
So here's the fun thing, boys. Super duper fun thing.
Is it?
Neato.
Yes, we got 3 new patrons
Oh my gosh.
today. I know.
That's
oh my
better
God.
than 2.
That's
better than
almost one more than 2 and 2 more than 1.
Yeah.
Like you were saying with percentages.
With
how they're-
percentages.
Yeah.
Addition is also inverse. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. Nope, doesn't work.
It does work. So we got a bunch of cutie patooties here named Skim Milk.
Skim milk. Fuck
Skim
yeah.
Milk. We have Cody Payne and Exo.
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 We got a just a cup of milk. Max Payne's uncle, and then Exo. I don't really have a bit for Exo, but it's a fun name nonetheless.
It's a nice way of saying that you have an Audi instead of an innie.
If it Exo.
Oh,
I have an Exo wiener.
fuck my exo.
Yeah, but thank you, you 3. You guys are the best people this week and forever in my book. So thank you very
Forever,
much. We
wow.
appreciate it. Yeah, I go a long way with my love. If you want to be shouted out on the show and see a bunch of cool, fun bonus content, you can become a patron too at patreon.com/deludipod.
Hell yeah.
It's a super great place to be, and we're going to be adding some new fun things to that. So everyone that's there right now, keep your eyes open. You're going to see something real fun come through soon. Like the Krabby Patty secret formula.
Yeah, it's just a tier of Mike doing that.
Hello, patrons. Hello.
He's actually just re-recording all of our episodes, but reading all the parts as plankton.
Yeah.
all
then-
this.
Fantastic.
And then a little bit of Squidward and SpongeBob thrown in. Just got to
Perfect.
slap the Adam's apple.
Slap the apple.
It hurts, but it does the job.
Hurts, but it works. Well,
Yes.
Do we want to raise a glass for our
fallen
fine,
comrade,
our
Doug.
fallen comrade, as well as our fine patrons this
Yes,
week?
this one's to you,
Sure.
people.
Cool.
When you clink the, when you hear drink clink,
Drink.
Drink.
Mm.
Woo!
Ooh.
Oh, we didn't do it. What are you drinking? That's okay. We'll do it next week.
Because we're not done with that bottle yet. Which, Dility first.
Woo, we didn't finish the
did
bottle.
finish a bottle.
Yeah, so boys.
Yes.
We're missing a boy.
We are missing a boy.
Sure are.
Much like potentially
Oh, Jesus
what
Christ.
we're going over here
Jesus.
today.
I'm waiting with bated breath right now.
Part 2 of Walten Files. Walten Files 2. Where are my files?
Aloo.
Where are my files, Aloo?
Walten Files 2. Hey, come back here with that filing cabinet. It's full of my stuff. So where did we leave off last time? Does anyone want to give a TLDR of what happened?
Sure. So, basically, have you ever played Five Nights at Freddy's? Just imagine that, but not a game. We got this place.
Wow.
It's called Bond's Burgers. It's got a bunch of fucking bunny animatronics. It's got a Ronald McDonald knockoff. It's got a creepy animatronic guy with a mustache. There's a dude named Walten, and there's a dude named Felix. And Walten and Felix are up to some creepy stuff. Walten's not around anymore. Why is that?
Sus.
The animatronics are running on the loose. They're cutting people up. They're shoving them into themselves and other animatronics. And there's a creepy storage center in the middle of the woods where these animatronics are hanging out now.
Much like Four Nights at Franklin's.
Four Nights at Franklin's. Yep, you got it, man.
And I know what you're thinking. Who's Franklin? It's the turtle.
Hey, it's Franklin.
Yes. Coming to your house. That song is a bit more ominous when said in just a serious tone.
Yeah. Hey, it's Franklin.
Coming to your house.
Don't think I will. Don't think I will, Franklin.
He's coming inside your home.
Who isn't, though?
I'm coming inside my home. We got something to talk about.
Home.
Please do. So where do we start off on part 2 here? How do we start this? We haven't done one in a while.
I remember, I think we left off right around
the Relocate project.
Well, we finished that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we were waiting with bated breath for Matt to tell us all about a hidden tape, if I'm correct.
Yes. So at the end of the Relocate project, and for a quick refresher on that, the Relocate project was a project to take all of the animatronics from the now defunct Bond's Burgers restaurant and take them into a storage unit where they were going to be fixed up and then relocated to a new Bond's Burgers location so that they could get up to their normal non-murdery animatronic hijinks somewhere else.
And that went successfully, right?
Yeah, it was great. Only a few people got murdered.
Yeah.
Only a few.
Yeah. So far, so good. Animatronics still broken. 3 people dead. Couldn't ask for more than that. But anyway, at the end of that video, I mentioned that there was a slightly obscured link to another YouTube video. So if you follow that link, you get to a video called Lucky You. And
Lucky you.
Yeah, Lucky You. Is it lucky you're dead? Lucky you found the video? Don't know. But
I like to think it's open to interpretation.
Lucky you don't have to live anymore. You're done with that mortal pain.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can put a spin on anything.
Well, it could be like, lucky you've got hemorrhoids, and I think I'd take that a lot less happily than just death.
I think you're just not in the right mindset, Jason.
Well, let's get me in the right mindset there, Matt.
Okay.
There, Matt.
This video is a lot shorter than the other ones. It's like 3 minutes long, and it takes us through some events that are significant over the course of the history of Bond's Burgers. So the first video that shows us is of the opening day of the original Bond's Burgers, and we see a picture of the first birthday party they had, some pictures of Bond on the last days of the store, and then after that, there's a picture of the condemned Bond's Burgers building, like the original one, and then a picture of the K9 facility, and pictures of the animatronics that are inside from 1974 to 1975. So this kind of shows us that after those employees showed up and Ashley got murdered and the other employees left, they're still laying around. And then after that, we get just a black screen and a date. June 11th, 1974. And the screen stays black for a little while. And when it comes back, we see some images of the animatronics and their heads. And they're in like their dilapidated post-murder state. And we get a voiceover.
It's the meme of that like rat that's found in like the donut box that already ate all the donuts. It's just like, do what you must have already won.
The Australian, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's like a larger rat.
Oh man.
Yeah, the voiceover over this says, "You must be so confused about what you saw. Don't be scared, my little bunny. Answers will be given eventually, but don't try to solve this puzzle with the pieces you have so far. I'm going to tell you a story of broken people, beautiful people. He is so sorry about what he did to them, but there's nothing he can do." And then after that, a voice just repeats, "Safety in pills, Sophie. Safety in pills.
Safety in pills,
Safety
Sophie.
in pills." And
Got one,
then
Safety in pills?
Yeah.
Safety in pills.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Riveting analysis. In the middle of that,
What do you want from me?
I want deep insight, Mike.
You can't get that from me. You think this has deep insight written on its face?
Have you heard yourself
Go ahead.
talk about Dragon Ball or
That's
Ludacris?
different. That's okay. That's two things that I do have some good. I will say his 1.21 gigawatts mixtape that he put out like fucking 12 years ago.
Oh.
Still a fucking banger. Still a fucking
To
banger.
give it. Okay, this is an assignment. The next time we do the next analog horror we do, I want you to find the most apt Ludacris song to go as a soundtrack with it. And not only am I going to watch whatever it is, but whatever Ludacris song you pick, I will personally watch the entire analog horror with that song repeating in the background and give you an analysis of what it adds.
So you could play the song Flexin' from said mixtape with this. It does feature Waka Flocka Flame,
He's already got one on deck.
so you know it's
Okay.
gonna be a banger.
All right, that's my homework. Next week, I will come back with. I'll watch probably not the whole thing, but I'll watch a Walten Files video with that song.
Actually, if you
going
want
in the
one that
background.
actually works better with the theme here, you could do one of his newer tracks, Vices, because it's all about how people have their own vices, much like Sophie's pills.
See,
I thought you were going to
Analysis.
say it's like it's vices because everyone has a
Grips.
basement full of
Grippers.
animatronic bunnies that might
I mean, sure,
misbehave.
that too.
It's better than having
Speaking of, where did
skeletons in
yours
your closet.
go?
Oh, don't worry. It's in the pumps. It's in the sub pump.
Okay, some pump took care of it. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Good,
mud
good.
monsters were like, we're taking this back
Yeah.
and putting them
He
in
is the
our
mud-
restaurant.
You know how in Godzilla movies they always create some sort of Mecha Kong or Mecha
Yeah,
Godzilla?
yeah.
This is that version of a Mecha Sump Pump monster. So
It's just,
Mecha
just
sump pump
absolutely
monster.
destroying the city of Chicago.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, I want
giant
you to know-
sump pump mud monster with animatronic parts just shoved into it.
If
Yeah.
Deludy ever makes a found footage horror film, it's just called Sump Pump Monster. That's what it'll be.
Oh
I'm here for it,
my
though.
god. Anyway, pills.
Sorry, keep going, Matt.
Yeah, safety and pills, Sophie. And then we get a video of presumably Brian, the employee from the first video.
Brian
who,
Stells. He's a human.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
just a heads up.
Who
Thank
was just
you.
randomly assigned to come to this K9 facility and check it out. And he is running down a path through the forest and he screams, "What was that thing?" And then the video cuts out and we get a picture of the pill bottle that's made a reoccurrence in a couple shots. And then that cuts out and Bond shows up and presumably fucks Brian's shit up. Yeah.
As
So-
he does.
As Bond likes to do. So then we get a picture of a bloody Bond and then more video of the various animatronics spliced over more like random bunny footage. And there's text that
Mike's
pops
favorite
up on
part
the,
of this entire series is the bunny footage.
yeah, it's just cute. They're lovable bunnies.
Dude, okay, sorry, Matt, but I
No,
have
that's
to
fine.
recall a time when I was living in Yorkville with someone who had a bunny, and I remember we went over there to do something, like help them move or do something, and Mike came along, and he was supposed to help, but he spent the entirety of the time just holding a bunny, and like at one point you came to tears, and you were just like, it's just so soft.
It's called supervising, Jason. I was working on my management skills.
Supervisor.
So that's
Yeah.
the reason you are where you are.
Exactly.
Man,
Yeah,
could've
that
held more
checks out.
bunnies.
When I was there, and we were at Doug's place, and Mike came over, and he spent most of the time just like interacting with the cats.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Animals
Seems
don't
like as Mike
disappoint
did
you,
do.
much like
That's true.
Doug or Jason does.
For me. That's fine.
You can't disappoint me. You're a beauty.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. I'm sure. Yeah. So after the bunnies, well, and mixed in with the bunnies too, we get some ominous text that pops up on the screen. And this text says, I made them beautiful. I don't know how. I didn't even mean to, but I did. They try to talk to us through analog. They will be heard. This is their cry for help. Besides, they want us to know what happened that year. But we must be patient. Look, they are filled with life. They dance to the music. They laugh and sing along. They're perfect. They are beautiful. They will see you soon, Sophie.
Not ominous at all.
What's the deal with Sophie?
What's the deal with Sophie?
Yeah, what is the
What's
deal
the
with
deal?
Sophie? It's Sophie, Jerry.
And yeah, that's the end of Lucky You.
Very
So-
nice. So did this was a hidden video, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Was this one it was like an unlisted video on YouTube?
Yeah, it showed up, like the tail end of the URL shows up briefly at the end of Walten Files episode 2. And if you punch it in to the, like punch it in after youtube.com/whatever,
Yeah.
then you get this unlisted video.
Cool. Okay, well, with the end of our first hidden tape, that moves us directly into the longest single video that we have ever covered. The next one is it's tape number 3.
I'm sure this room does not exist was longer, wasn't it? Wasn't that almost an hour and a half? One of the videos
This is the longest single video that we have covered.
ever.
Single video.
Single video. Like I Am Sophie is probably longer as like
it
a
took
mash.
an hour and a half to get through, and there
No,
was
I
like
thought they had-
17 videos.
I thought they had like a really, really long one.
No,
Oh.
the whole thing was like 13 minutes long.
Oh,
And then there was a
something else.
log, a backlog that you had to access, and then you
Well-
could watch a bunch of separate videos.
This room does not exist all mashed together. It's like 2 hours long.
Yeah,
Like
if you
if you
imagine-
take all the videos and smash them together. But yeah, there's no single video that's an hour long.
Well,
Right.
shit.
So this one by itself is a whopping hour long. I didn't expect it to be as engaging as it was when I watched it. I watched it a couple of times through just to comprehend what the fuck I was watching. But so it's called Bunny Farm. And this one, it opens up with, it's just like a bunch of mashed together clips of the first 2 tapes. And I think it's just kind of there as like a reminder of what's happened so far, as long as you've watched the videos. And eventually it mentions a news story from a local 57 about
That
somebody
sounds
named,
familiar.
it should.
Huh.
Wasn't that in Gemini?
Yeah, Local 57 was in Gemini, which was on Channel 7.
Yeah, no, it's like a parody of Gemini.
What?
Local
Okay. Are you
being
57
serious?
is parodying Gemini,
I don't believe you.
and it's well,
You've
no,
got your
it's
I'm joking face on. You're trying to hold the fucking smile back, and it's not working. No, it's definitely
a bit.
it's a nod to Local 58, which is one of the most successful analog horrors out there today. As
It's
you guys,
funny because Mike actually made that joke like the week before we did this one. Because we were talking, I don't even remember what the fuck we were talking about, but we were talking about how something was a ripoff of Local 58, and Mike was like, Local 57, and we were like, oh, and then I watched this like that night, and I was like, whoa,
Little do you know.
Mike predicted the future.
Well, I've already done research on literally every topic that we have. I just
believe it.
pretend to be stupid.
That just reduces your workload responsibility and
Yeah, he gets it out of the way so he can watch Dragon Ball and listen to Ludacris.
Exactly. Someone's got to study those power levels, and I guess it's me.
I guess it's you, man. So okay, back to Bunny Farm. So again, there's a news story from Local 57, and it's all about somebody named Brian Stells going missing in the Joanna Forest. This is the person that we saw driving into the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
We also saw an animation of his death, or what we assumed to be his death. So right after this mashup of news story and previous clips, we hop right into the loading screen for an old video game. And this is kind of where we are introduced to two people, one named Jenny and the other named Sophie, who we
Jenny.
So we've heard Sophie's name quite a bit. We haven't heard Jenny's name at all, but we've seen allusions to Sophie for the past two videos, well, 2.5, I guess. So basically the premise of this is that Jenny is showing Sophie this arcade game that is being stored in the basement of their hotel or apartment, something like that. Just their living situation at the moment. So this is just to give you a heads up where this falls in the timeline. This is on October 15th, 1982, which happens to be about 5 days after the Brian Stells footage of when he goes missing and gets brutally murdered by a robotic animatronic blue bunny named Bon.
You said that with the same, I guess, rhythm, and it popped right in my head as, the Big Bad Beetleborgs theme song or something. I don't know what you said it. All I was thinking was Big Bad Beetleborgs, like a big blue animatronic bunny.
Okay, so when you go to your hard drive and you look at what the space being taken up and it separates it into a pie chart of this much is this.
Yeah.
I want to have that for your brain. I want to know how much space is allocated to shit like that.
Oh, too much.
Half the fun of listening to this podcast is when Mike starts talking, just trying to guess where it's going to go.
Oh, absolutely. Especially as long as it's directly after Doug has started a coherent thought. And he just fucking BAM! Oh, it's so
Y'all
fucking
remember
funny.
VR Troopers?
Oh my god, I do though.
That was good with the talking dog and all.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Also, the little tune you sang there reminded me of the intro to Megas XLR. Chicks dig giant
my God.
robots.
I dig giant robots. I haven't thought of Megas XLR in fucking years.
Nice.
Shit.
Yeah.
Now this is just a Megas XLR podcast, or at least episode. Okay, so anyway, again, this footage that we're seeing is taking place 5 days after the Brian Stells footage. So on October 15th, 1982. And Jenny is explaining to Sophie that this game was recently installed in the hotel that they're staying at in the basement. Game development, this actually began in 1975, which was about a year after the Bon's Burgers closure. And so they start playing. Sophie asks, oh, can I just didn't you already start playing? And Jenny's no, you got to make your own file. Half the fun is experiencing it, yada yada yada. And Sophie, being the dumbass she is, puts her name in as Soapy.
She's
so that's just her name. Up. Yeah, that's just her name for the rest of this video.
Soapy. It's from Halloween Town.
Holy shit.
When he's what's your name? She's like, Sophie. And he's like, Soapy. No, Sophie. He's like, all right, Soapy, I'll catch you later.
I wonder if that's a subtle nod to that. Who knows? So anyway, we go back and they're talking and they get into the title screen, and you start learning what the game is about. Now the game itself, it features all of the cast and characters from Bon's Burgers, or Bunny Smiles Incorporated, whichever one you want to look at it. And they're all getting ready for a party. And Bon is super excited about it, and he pops up saying, "Everybody ready for the party?" And everyone's like, "Oh my god, yes, I forgot about the party." He goes, "It's the fruit festival. It's the yearly fruit festival." And they're like, "Oh, awesome. We're so excited." And
Fucking love fruit.
And then he goes, "Did everybody remember to bring their fruit?" And they're like, "Oh, no, not at all." And Bon literally turns to him and goes, "Ah, you dumb people." And he just like starts insulting the shit out of them.
Just like really digging in.
Oh yeah,
Like-
just really digging into him. And so this goes on for a while, and it basically ends up that you're playing as Bon, and you are walking around, and you are trying to help all of the hello, Doug. You're basically trying to help the different cast and crew with some kind of problem they have, and at the end of it, you will be rewarded with fruit, which you obviously need to have the annual fruit festival. You can't have a fucking
it's
fruit
essential.
festival without fruit.
Duh.
So they start playing, and it goes to the actual game, and it's kind of like a top-down. It's kind of like 16 or 32-bit, and you know, Sophie's walking around as Bon, and Jenny's kind of explaining like, "Oh yes, you just, you know, what are the controls?" And she's like, "Oh, this is that, this is this." And as she's walking around, she's mentioning like how familiar everything seems to her.
Mhm.
But there's no real clarification on it.
Yeah, it seems fuzzy to her too. She's why?
Yeah, she's like, "Well, I don't understand why this is familiar, but it feels so familiar." They make a very, very, very clear point to tell everyone, like, by the way, this game was unfinished, like it never was actually polished, so this is just like what is left of it. So there's going to be some glitches here and there, and that's fine. So Sophie doesn't like, she's asking about the characters, and which to me, that struck me as incredibly fucking weird.
Okay, I don't want to cut you off, but Doug keeps coming into the
He
Discord.
does. He's making
And-
it up.
Oh, what happened?
What just happened?
Why?
Matt, can you still hear me?
Uh-oh.
The
Did
fuck
Doug
just happened?
crash? Did Doug crash the dang hole?
What the fuck
Discord?
just
So,
happened?
No
All
idea.
right.
You guys just went
Oh.
bye-bye.
We're back
Yeah,
in, baby.
We're back, but like,
Nothing
what
like
the
seeing
fuck?
Doug's just give that selfie, and it's that meme of like the dude with the Snapchat on, where it's like, "I sent you my penis, please respond," and you just see his entire like chin and everything.
Or like those memes, it's like what you see, what she sees.
Yeah,
It's just
that's all Doug was doing
Doug
just
and an
now.
AF icon.
Jesus Christ, Doug. Yeah, if this keeps happening, just blame Doug. It's easy because he can't respond. So
I'm down with
anyway, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, so the one thing that stood out was very, very weird to me is that Sophie is saying how like none of these characters seem familiar to her, which we know her last name at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's not a fucking secret. We know her name is Sophie fucking Walton, and she grew up with this shit. Like
Yes.
Why doesn't she remember?
why doesn't she remember that her father
like
was the founder of Bunny Smiles Incorporated / Bond's Burgers? I mean, she had
Right,
to
like
have
her
seen
entire
these things.
lineage is basically like presumably splattered on the side of this arcade cabinet.
Right, exactly. And like,
She had to have watched the training videos that mentioned Jack Walton.
or you know, she had to have known her dad. Like,
Yeah.
it's just I can't think of a scenario that you wouldn't like. You would grow up with this shit and just not remember it.
Yeah. Unless you're like what's the Frankie Muniz? He doesn't remember
Oh.
anything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
basically from like before he was like 12.
yeah. I mean, that might be just show business.
I blame Agent Cody Banks too for that one.
Of course you do. Of fucking course you do. So anyway, moving forward, Jenny is she starts talking about the incidents that have happened with Brian, which happened 5 days ago, and the incident with Ashley, which happened previous to that. And now remember, Ashley was one of the techs that went into the K9 storage unit with her team, and her mission was to basically restore these animatronics so they can be relocated. For
He was in another movie about a video game that came to life and tried to kill him. I don't remember the name
Stay
of it,
Alive.
though. Stay Alive. Thank
Yeah.
you. There it is.
Oh yeah, I fucking forgot about that movie. Jesus Christ.
We're dearly missing. Like, we need just Doug to just record a picture or a short video of his disappointed face.
Yes,
So that
that's
we
what I
can
was thinking too. We can just play it on loop. So when we start doing this, we're just like, oh right, Doug's disappointed in us. Fuck, let's keep going. So Jenny's talking with Sophie about the incident with Brian and Ashley going missing. And she's not thinking too much of it. She's being incredibly calm about the whole thing, even though this is something that's happening in their hometown. So she starts playing the game, and she's looking at some characters, and she eventually lands on Billy the Clown. Now, if you guys remember, Billy the Clown is full of Ashley, so that's super fucking topical that she would pick that one. Now each character is going to have like a game that comes along with them to help you like get through. If once you get through that, you get to the end of that section, which unlocks the next section, much like a Zelda game. But
much like the hit movie Stay Alive with Frankie Muniz.
Yes, much like that fucking
Exactly
hit
like
movie. So Billy's game is a tic-tac-toe game. It's very, very, very simple. And when beaten, it shows Ashley's mutilated face inside the Billy animatronic, and that's the reward you get. It's fucking fantastic.
What a prize.
My
And
question is like, who came back later and put this in? Though that's the question that like goes that sort of weaves itself through all of these videos.
That is the question. That
yeah.
It lasts until the
I
very,
guess we
very,
can save
very
that
end.
for later, but
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it. I have some theories, but we'll figure it out. So after this happens, Sophie fear quits from the entire game and says, "Fuck this! I'm not playing anymore tonight."
Understandably.
Yeah, absolutely. But she reboots it the next day, and she sees that her save file is corrupt, and it says, "Warning: to continue, this might like crash the fucking game. And you'll lose everything." She's like, "Yeah, fuck it, whatever." Now the one thing that I noticed the first time she was playing, she's supposedly hearing and seeing all these very familiar faces and names, and just she's super chill about the whole thing. She's even kind of chill when like the Billy like jump scare comes up. And now this time when she starts playing, she is noticeably nervous as fuck.
As you should be.
Yes.
yeah.
And she's walking around, and she actually finds there's a plaque in town, and it's right by one of the characters named Pete the Hippo, and his name is Pete, and he is a hippo.
What?
Now in the game, she clearly doesn't fucking read it. But if you pause it, this is what it says. It says, "He promised to take care of the two kids during that day. He told the parents everything was okay. It's sad that we can't really remember you, Sophie, but soon we'll be together forever and ever. R.I.P. the two lovely red children." Not really sure what the fuck that means at this point.
Are they like gingers? Is that what that's supposed to mean?
It's somebody who feels sorry for like all the ginger children not all the two ginger children that died. The rest or whatever.
Yeah, we don't really.
But two. He feels sorry for two. So after this, she walks Bon over to the Purple Bunny sprite, which is Banny, and you start playing Banny's game. Now this one is called Hippo House, and basically you see a sequence where Banny lets out all of the pigs after being told not to touch the cages. So what the fuck does she do?
She sucks.
She does suck.
Yeah.
She's the dumbest
Banny
fucking bunny.
sucks.
Come on,
They're like-
Manny. What the fuck are you doing?
They're like, oh, whatever you do, just don't let the pigs out. And she's like, oh, that's gonna be some fun. Oh, let's let the pigs out. Let's be super fun. Just let the pigs out. We got it. Let's let the
I
pigs
was
out.
just trying to help.
Yeah. And then after she's like, I was just trying to help. No, you actively sabotaged the situation.
no,
The power of listening was not active in your brain at this moment at all.
Banny is that annoying fucking cousin that everybody had in their childhood. Like that one cousin who was just like vying for attention all the time and like constantly fucking
and
things
just
up.
acted out. And yeah. Absolutely. That is Banny. And I think that's because like she's also a bunny, but she's not front and center like Bon is. So I think there's a little bit of a little man syndrome going on there. Who knows though? So again, this is called Hippo House, and Banny lets all of the pigs out, and now we have to wrangle them. And at this point, Sophie kind of mentions that some of the faces on the characters are trying to communicate something to her. So right before this, there's this room, and there's a bunch of keys, and there's 3 locked doors, and she walks around, she finds a key, and she ends up going through a door. And on the floor, there's like this big, slide puzzle. And this is what she's talking about when she says the faces are trying to communicate something to her. And then after this puzzle gets solved, we get some glitchiness, and we get an audio log from somebody named Susan Woodings.
Who that is?
Susan, we're actually not 100% sure how she ties into this at this point. All we know is that she is integral to this story, and much like all the other things that we've learned, we know that the name's important. We've seen it a couple of times, but that's about it. And here's what it says. Basically, when she starts talking, she describes that on June 30th, 1974, she stayed to help clean Bon's Burgers. They talk about the first party at the restaurant and how the animatronics were kind of acting weird. And then she also starts talking about how it's weird that they opened after Jack disappeared.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, way back in, video 1, I believe, the first tape, we see that missing poster from Jack Walton saying that,
Yeah, I think it's in the second one. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It all runs together in my head. Jason's dying.
Be professional.
Do we keep doing the podcast after Jason dies?
Yeah, I'll just get another skeleton with another picture on his head.
Perfect. Oh, man. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So yeah, back to the audio log. So again, it was weird that they opened after Jack disappeared. And then we find out that Susan created the animatronics. She was their lead designer.
This is her fault.
Yeah, she did all of this. And then what do you know?
Susan.
What do you know? Susan meets Bon. She gets paralyzed and stuffed inside the Banny robot while still alive. And if we go back to one of the videos where we see that the rabbit is starving, the rabbit has to get out.
Yeah.
That was the story of Susan Woodings starving to death inside of the Banny outfit.
Yeah. She was
fantastic,
just
right?
In there. That's horrifying. Oh, yeah. That's just like being paralyzed and shoved into one of these things. That
fate worse than death.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Way worse. Wowie zowie.
God damn it, Matt. I can't get one goddamn... Whatever.
Me too.
It's Doug's problem. But yes, so after we hear this little audio log of Susan basically telling us that she's the one inside Banny, she's the one that created all these animatronics. So Sophie freaks the fuck out because, as we kind of assume, she's starting to remember more and more. She then goes over to the mailbox and she starts reading the mail.
Oh, here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Mail!
Perfect.
Oh, God, it's anthrax. Shit.
So she freaks out. She reads the mail.
What was that guy's name?
Son of a bitch.
The anthrax guy?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The guy sent a bunch of anthrax through the mail.
Oh, I don't remember his name.
The Unabomber.
Oh.
Yeah.
There it is.
Unabomber.
Oh, yeah.
Ted Kaczynski.
Yes. So
Ted Cruz.
Yes, Ted Cruz is the Unabomber and also
Zodiac
Zodiac
Killer.
Killer. He's just all of the serial killers all at once. So Sophie starts reading through the mail. And the first thing we notice is that most of the mail is just completely and utterly redacted. Sorry, what is it, Mike? It's completely and utterly what?
You
Yes.
have the button.
Redacted.
That, yes.
A new one.
It is a new one. So she's scrolling through and she comes to a few that have some actual like information. And the long and the short of all of this is that we learn that Felix has a pretty bad drinking problem. We see that Molly Walton is born. There's a name we haven't heard yet. And we meet Rocket, the rabbit doll, which we saw earlier in the series, but didn't have a name to put a face to. So,
Not Racket Raccoon.
yes, yes, Rocket the raccoon rabbit. And so we find out that Rocket was actually made for Ed and Molly Walton, which we assume should be Sophie's brother and sister. Yet we haven't really heard too much about them. We also find out that Felix's drinking gets worse and his wife, Linda, leaves him. Scroll, get to the end of the mail, and we hear Sophie saying, I really
And
shouldn't
Linda
be reading
goes
this.
and marries Bob, and they start Bob's Burgers.
Exactly. This is
Just to spite Bond's burgers.
Canon. Yes.
and that's where they got the idea.
You might be onto something with that. That's a good bit.
Let's write the creators.
That's funny.
Say, hey, if you guys don't have a backstory for it yet, we got you. Let us write it, the whole thing. God, this
I wanna
fucking
know-
space heat.
I want to know when the
Is it
little
warm?
health inspector guy shows up
Oh, fuck yeah.
and like he's like, all these
Later,
animatronics, Bob.
Well, later, after he leaves, he gets stuffed into another animatronic.
Oh, okay.
That's just what happens. So yeah, we find out that the drinking gets worse and Felix's wife, Linda, leaves him. And then after Sophie says, I shouldn't fucking be reading this, we go over to Boozoo's game. Now, Boozoo is the only human animatronic that we see. He
He's
looks
the
like
Pasquale in this scenario.
he looks like if the Swedish Chef was a magician. If I'm being 100% honest,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I hope not.
Yeah, he's just kind of like the Pringles can.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, that's perfect. So we go to his game and we basically just have to match the pictures. It's the memory game where you have to match two pictures under some flipped over cards. And Sophie's doing pretty well. And all of a sudden she clicks on one and it's just Jack Walton's face.
Something about the words that Pazuzu says, like when you click and he's like,
Boozoo. Not
Pazuzu says-
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. About when he says it and when you click the thing right, he's like, oh, you found the difference. I'm like, that's not a sentence. It doesn't sound like a proper sentence in my.
It's most of the
You
things.
found a difference. That's
Yeah.
not a word. You can't use it like that, Boozoo.
But you can.
do that, Boozoo.
You didn't say the magic word.
You can't do that to me, Boozoo.
Holy shit. Doug, do you have anything to say about this? God, he's not fucking contributing at all this episode.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, there.
The
Falling off.
AFI concert fucks.
It lit a fire inside. Anyway, so after we get done with the matching game, we go on to spot the difference. And yes, this is where Boozoo is like, you found the difference. You found the difference over and over again. And eventually we get to two different pictures of Jack Walton. One of them is kind of fucked up. One of them is heavily fucked up. And
Super fucked up.
yeah, he keeps saying, like, it glitches and he keeps saying, like, you found the difference. And eventually we get back to a picture, a missing picture. It says missing 0714. And if we cross compare, you'll notice that this is not the same date that Jack went missing, which means
Right.
there's someone else in this equation that we don't know.
Who's that girl? It's Jess.
God damn it. God. Is that a New Girl joke?
It's a New Girl joke. Yes, it is.
You motherfucker.
Okay.
So at this point, simply based off the names that we've heard from different clips of audio in the past, and one of them was, I think, when Shah was, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, I think this was in your video, but when Shah was running around giving a tour, didn't she go over like several names when she was glitching the fuck out?
It happens at the end of the tape that Ashley shoves into the clown.
Yeah, that's right. At the end of that, and
it also in the beginning, and I think the first episode when it's like, oh, who's coming over for the sleepover? They mentioned names on that one too.
Yeah. So the one with Billy the Clown, I remember the very end of it. It goes over. It basically shares
There's
like
5 names.
It's the names of the Waltons. It's like Jack,
Sophie, Rosemary. Where the fuck is it? I wrote it down. Don't.
Taking notes 101.
Okay.
Either way, I'm pretty sure it's all of it's the Walten family.
Yeah.
Oh,
hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
But either way, the very last
Rosemary,
name you hear,
Sophie, Charles, Susan, John.
Cool. So, Charles, we have not heard that name at all before. The only one that we don't have a date, like a missing date for, is Charles. Now, I don't exactly know what the fuck he has to do with this or Bunny Smiles Incorporated or this story, but to me, it makes sense that this poster is about him, just simply due to process of elimination. So after this, we go to Shah's minigame. Now, Shah the sheep, she likes to play hide and seek. Now, this one is by and large the most upsetting portion of the game that you will encounter aside from the glitchiness, like the regular portion of the game. Basically, your goal is to find Shah. Now, it's not a hard game. You literally see exactly where she goes. So obviously Sophie finds Shah very easily. And then it goes to Sophie's turn to hide. And this is where Shah starts looking, and you see this very upsetting, like unsettling looking animatronic sheep walking towards Sophie kind of out of the darkness. And
it's hard to put my finger on exactly how, like, what makes this scene so unnerving, but this
it just is.
Yeah, it is.
It's like
they nailed this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this scene in particular.
It's like when we go back to when we see that picture of the two founders, Felix and Jack. How for whatever, like it by all means, it's a normal ass picture, but for some fucking reason, Jack just looks unsettling as hell, and I can't put my finger on it. But the same thing happens here, but this time it's with an animatronic sheep that looks like super fucked up.
Right.
And so as it's Sophie's turn to hide, Shah approaches her. And she says, "Am I still beautiful inside, Sophie?" And Sophie just fucking loses her shit because, the video game just mentioned her by name.
It's talking to you. That's never a good sign.
No, if the video game talks to you, it's time to stop playing that game. And
I think it was time to stop playing like an hour ago. But
yeah, absolutely. Go the fuck to sleep at this point. And then she says, "Follow me. I know where he is, Rosie." Now at this point, it kind of leads us to question the events that happened on the night of the shutdown. You know what I mean? Like when they heard the screaming from inside. To me anyway, it made me question, is Bon luring people there? Or was Sophie the one doing it?
Right.
Because if this is like a retelling of like the events that happened, which it kind of seems like it might be, what's Sophie doing there? Why is she involved? Like why? Like none of this makes sense without her there. So something to think about.
Yeah, throughout the second video, there's like moments where Sophie just sort of like glitches in to, or like what we can assume to be Sophie, just sort of like glitches into the video. And it like, is it just a glitch, or is it implying that she was there watching all this happening?
Cannot confirm or deny at this point, unfortunately, but it's something to think about for sure. So after this, we go back to another countdown, and we get like this super fucked up reenactment of when Rosemary went missing from a first-person point of view. And this first-person point of view is from Sophie's perspective as she watches, I'm assuming as a child. And this confirms this very last thought that I had, that yes, Sophie definitely saw Rosemary get dismembered by Bon the Bunny all those fucking years ago. Almost what? This is 9 years ago from when this was recorded, 1985 to 74. Yeah, about 9 years ago. We get years. Another quote, or not another reminder that she can find safety in pills. This is where it all kind of came crashing together for me. I don't know about you guys, but like between the safety in pills, between the forced first person's perspective of what we're looking at in the video game, all the events that have been happening, and it kind of gets you to think, like, did Sophie do this, or was it like some other force? Like, did Sophie do this on her own, or did someone else force her to? Because at this point, we're pretty much confirmed that Sophie lured Rosemary backstage specifically so Bon could kill her and stuff her inside an animatronic, right?
Right.
That's kind of where we're at.
Like, where the biggest thing I think we can say for sure is that Sophie is obviously taking pills to forget something traumatic surrounding these events.
Yeah.
Now,
safety in pills.
Now, is she taking them? Did she decide to start taking them herself? Is somebody else making her take them to try to get her to forget?
Yeah, and in this video earlier on, we do get Sophie actually give commentary on it, saying like, I don't know, like the pills I'm taking are like they're making me forget a lot of my like teenage years, some of my childhood. So we know that they're causing this amnesia for sure. And at this point, we're fairly certain that this game is like jogging all of these memories loose. So after this, we go to a scene in the video game from Sophie's old house, and we see Rocket the doll, and this starts jogging more of Sophie's memories loose. We also get audio from Jack Walten to Felix, basically asking him to take or pick up his kids from a school party.
Row.
Yep. Yep. And then we go back to the farm game. Inside the game, we see two red children, and it shows kind of like a recounting of the night that the phone call that we just heard taking place. And from all the context clues, we can kind of assume that these two red children are Ed and Molly.
Molly!
Yes.
Remember the Pokemon movie 2000 when Entei just yells Molly 500,000 times?
I don't. I must have blacked that out. I'll have to look at that. So again, we follow Rockets, and so now your character sprite changes. It used to be Bon the Blue Bunny. Now it is just two red children that are kind of like running next to each other, and it shows a recounting of the night. We see that everyone, or the two kids, set out to find Felix. They cannot find Felix. And then the next, we find out what Felix is actually doing. Felix has been drinking. And at about 9:53 p.m., at this point, Felix has found the two red children, Ed and Molly, and is now taking them home. He very clearly drove drunk, and the kids are like, hey, have you been drinking? Like, what's going on here? He goes like, oh, no, it's
safe.
It's fine. But he starts like monologuing and rambling, and he speeds up, and he keeps saying it's all your fault to the two kids. And then we get a flash, and we get a screen that says, you got the bad ending. You crashed and killed them.
Good job, Felix. Yay! Good job, Goof.
And then we get we just get a scene where we see like,
I'm sorry, Mickey.
Gorsh, I'm so sorry.
Gorge. I didn't mean to do that.
I did it. Murder.
After this, we basically get a scene
I'll
from.
fucking do it again.
I swear to fucking God, I'm almost done. I'm so close. We get the shot of the forest. I'm just fucking steamrolling you guys. I'm so sorry. We get a shot of the forest. We see basically a makeshift grave to where the kids got buried. Jack, you find out that Jack has left about 25 messages on Felix's phone because Felix fucking refuses to answer. And then you get something on screen that says there's something you forgot to remember. And it shows Bon, Shah, Banny, and Buzu. And Bon freaks out and is covered in blood. And then it shows Sophie just kind of like glitching all around the screen. And that is the end of the hour-long epic that is Bunny Farm.
Hooray! Ooh.
God.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, incredibly.
Now for something real fucked up.
What do you got for us, Mike?
So I got kind of the last of, I guess, what you could call the tapes here. I totally took these notes.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't just
1,000%.
look up on the
100%.
Google Docs from when Doug
Well, he
took
does all
notes.
his research like months in advance. So.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
He's had this research since before I was born. so-
exactly. But this is another hidden tape. You can actually find it now. It's just on the regular playlist. But it's called Guilty. If you go into the description of the video, it reads, in memorial of Edward Walton and Molly Walton. Ed, 12, and Molly, 9, died Thursday, May 2nd, 1974, in a fatal car accident. They were leaving a party made by their school to celebrate spring. Jack Walton, the father and husband, well, not husband of the children, but, you know, that'd be weird.
Hey, what comes out in spring?
What comes out in spring? Bunnies!
And
Death?
and
Smiles?
things that come out of plants.
Photosynthesis.
No, that
I guess
Spores?
summer really, but like this fruit.
Fruit! Like the game.
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wowie You got there.
Anyway, they're celebrating the springtime. Jack Walton couldn't take the kids to the celebration because of work. A friend of Mr. Walton would take the kids instead. On the way back home, Jack's friend would be driving in questionable conditions, thus crashing his car near the road next to St. Juana's forest, instantly taking both Edward and Molly's lives. You will be remembered, our little angels, our little red children.
And there you have it.
There you fucking have it. After
Rip.
that, you start to see the Bunny Smiles incorporated logo. It kind of starts to glitch out and get all wibbly wobbly, funkly flobbly. And then you get this audio from Felix Kranken. It's kind of jarbled up.
Yep.
To where it's a little
distorted
difficult.
as shit.
Yeah, difficult to hear what he's saying. But you get a second message, and this plays out as this being kind of like Felix's farewell message about how he's going to be seeing them in a few months and how he's super excited about how far he has changed. But on the screen, you see that the he changes to we. And I think this is kind of like and I wouldn't necessarily call it a farewell message. I think this is supposed to be like a greeting type of message where he's like super excited about like Bunny Smiles Incorporated. But
And
when
maybe
you-
getting it back on its feet.
yeah,
and-
but when you
Yep.
pair it with what's next, you kind of see why you could kind of call it a farewell message. So
Fair enough.
there's another audio bit that comes afterwards, and this seems to be like almost immediately after the car crash that happened. He starts off like coughing. You can hear in his voice that he's drunk. The way that he talks and everything, you can tell this guy is, he's been drinking. He
He'd been
mentions how
boozing.
what?
He's boozing. Boozy.
He's boozing. Boozoo. Which hold on to that. Like I did my research. Hold on to that.
Mhm.
So, in his message, he mentions how it's been so long since his last recording on this device. And again, you can mention that you can tell that alcohol has been involved in this man's system. He goes on about talking about his alcohol use and how he has been in this like same condition like in the past that he is in now, where he's just been steadily getting worse and worse with his alcohol intake.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this recording must be like right after the crash. I'm talking maybe a couple weeks, days, maybe. And he even mentions, he's like, I hope Ed and Molly will be okay, even though they're not.
They're
They're deadsies.
DED, dead.
He mentions how that night he panicked so hard that he doesn't even remember where he buried the bodies. He just remembers that they're buried in the St. Juanas forest.
Mhm.
All of this, he also mentions, takes place a month before the restaurant opens. He's kind of like, he's like making this recording, but it seems like he's kind of trying to talk to Jack. Like he's leaving this recording for Jack. That's kind of the way I interpreted it. Like he still uses Jack's name in like the third person, but like he's like admitting like a bunch of like, he's admitting his guilt. You know, that's why it's called guilt. He's admitting his like sins, I guess you could say. And then we get this like image of Bon, like immediately right after this audio recording, and then the video ends. It's a little on the shorter side. It's only about 7 minutes long. But it's pretty much him just basically saying like, I fucked up.
Bad.
did.
I killed this man's kids. He's never going to be able to forgive me. We got a fucking shop we're opening it up. Like, this is awful.
And clearly one of those things takes precedence, hence the opening.
Yeah, the shop. Yeah.
The animatronic burger place.
Yeah, so it's definitely very somber.
Yeah. It's depressing, that's for sure. It makes you feel sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the Walten Files.
The end for now.
For now.
Yes. So if we could TLDR this story right quick, how would your name's next to it, Matt? So you tell me.
Is it?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
You told him it
is.
I mean,
I am you.
We can tag team
Let me see if I can TLDR this.
No, the story TLDR. I got it. I'm assigned to it. So this guy knows this other guy, and they're going to go into business together. And then one of them, real bad alcoholic. And then the other guy's like, hey, can you pick my kids up? So the real bad alcoholic goes and picks this guy's kids up, fucking crashes the car, kills the kids, buries the kids. Then the dude that he's in business with, Jack Walten, fucking goes missing. And then they decide to fucking open the restaurant anyhow. So then the restaurant's open for a short period of time. The animatronics that they've got going on inside the fucking restaurant decide to start slicing people up and stuffing them inside themselves and each other and getting real super kinky freaky with that shit. And then they have to shut the restaurant down, maybe because they were killing their customers. And then they take all those animatronics, take them out to a fucking bunker in the middle of nowhere. They send a few people out there to go see if they can do something with these animatronics to get them like fixed and working correctly so they can take them to a new restaurant and open a new restaurant. But the animatronics just keep killing people in the bunker. And then way down the road, we have the only surviving kid of the Walten dynasty who's left to deal with the like ever fleeting memory of the horrible things that she witnessed happen to her family as a child.
And yep, that is about how this fucking story goes. There's no happy endings here.
What a fun TLDR.
Yeah. Uplifting.
Yeah. I feel better about myself now.
It definitely is some sort of weird, like, I wouldn't call it a revenge or vengeance story.
Oh, I would.
Well, because is it like, I guess we can talk about it a little bit openly right now before I finish it up.
Yeah.
But like, is it like said that Felix like dies at the hands of like the animatronic, or in a vengeful way where it's like they got their vengeance on him, you know?
I mean,
I don't think
I don't
so.
explicitly say that, no.
No, we don't really know
But
what happened to Felix.
That is kind of like the driving theme behind the whole story.
Yeah, actually, I know what happens to Felix. So we're about to find out.
Oh, you do?
Oh, you do know what happens to Felix.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about.
So anyway,
We're going to talk a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, the person that made this whole thing. Martin Walls. He is the creator for this. I believe he's a Chilean creator. Chilean, sorry, whatever. But he created.
Great chili.
Yeah, he created this analog horror. He actually created the Bons Burgers video game before making the Walten Files.
wasn't that supposed to be like an actual like game?
It was essentially, if I recall correctly, a Five Nights at Freddy's game that it clone that just exploded, and he decided to work off of that. But if you go into jackwalton.com, you will actually find some like blog updates and everything from Martin Walls about continuations of this story.
Is it jackwalton.com or Find Jack Walton?
Find Jack Walton, sorry.
Okay.
FindJackWalton.com. He has like snippets and things in there about it. It tells you like little things about him as well. One of his favorite songs is Tiptoe and the Tulips.
Tiptoe.
Yeah. He also is a very big fan of the old 1992 Batman animated series.
Oh,
R.I.P.
nice.
Kevin Conroy. That's probably the saddest news I've heard in a long, long time. Yeah, that is very unfortunate.
R.I.P. in peace.
Martin also mentions on findjackwalton.com, he's like, yeah, I'm working on the next episode of Walten Files. That shit's coming soon. It's coming in hot.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, no.
He also mentions something that I'm going to go into. There are bonus videos, a bunch of them. If you go to the Walten Files YouTube page, you'll find a bunch of bonus episodes, short stories, things like that. According to Martin, these are non-canon.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
there's one in particular that I think may be canon.
Okay.
Here's why. First and foremost, if you go into the bonus videos playlist, one of them is hidden. There's a video that we just can't find, can't see anymore. It's hidden.
Unless you have the actual URL for it.
I don't know the answer to that.
Cool.
But
Okay.
I'm going to be super real with you people. Two of these are completely in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, and I could not find a way to translate it easily, so I did not. So
Fair.
figure that out on
You
your
didn't
own.
have a Babelfish, Andy?
Yes, figure that one on your own. The other two are just little like meme ones. Like there's a video of just him, like an animated version of him, and like a 8-bit version of Bon, just dancing to "You Spin Me Right,
Right
Round,
Round,
Baby,
Baby."
Right Round." By was
Like
it
a record.
Boy George? Is it?
Yeah, I've got different connotations of that song in my head. But,
Yeah, that's.
so that's for a different episode.
I actually don't remember who does that originally.
I think it's Boy George. Anyway, not important. And then there's another one called the Walten Files Drip, which is just like a meme thing.
Mhm.
It's just like, why don't you beautify some bitches? They're just like dancing, kind of. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And then there's a 1-year anniversary video where he mentions like merch and stuff like that. He's got a bunch of videos of like where you can actually find like the music that they put into everything in the background, which is great. They created a lot of this music themselves with like other artists and everything. But they have like all of the music right here for you to listen to. Which is pretty fan-fucking-tastic if you ask me. The two main videos I want to talk about were, if you go in there, there's the Walten Files short stories. There is one that's 13 minutes long called The Mysterious House, and one that's 40 minutes long called Boozoo's Ghost.
Uzu. Oh, okay.
Now, The Mysterious House is pretty easy. Again, these are non-canon according to Martin Walls, but they're still fun to look at. The first one is these three. It's Halloween night. It's these three like anthropomorphic animals, and they're all new characters from my understanding. It's a duck, a sheep, and a wolf.
What?
A wolf.
Yeah.
Shut up. And
Stop making fun
they're
of
going trick or treating. They go to this really creepy house, and they go in, and the person that answers the door is this like golden bunny
Okay.
Or no, it's an older sheep, I believe.
So not a golden bunny.
No, but I'm
an
getting the
old
golden. I'm
sheep?
getting the golden. I'm getting the golden. And so
It sounds like you're just making all of this
sheep
up.
gold.
no,
bunny.
so they go in there because the sheep lady's like, I got candy in the house. Come in the house, and they're like, yeah, okay. So they go in the house, and then like
He is telling it like a story that would lead up to just a joke.
Like a TMZ
I know, right?
fucking's got the scoop. This reminds me of that.
That's exactly what it sounds like. But continue.
so they go in the house, and they're just like waiting for the candy, but they never give him the candy. And then there's this like golden bunny that comes up to him and is just like, you should stay the night. It's dangerous out there. You should stay the night here. And they're like, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think
And
I
he's
will.
like, you shouldn't leave. Your parents would be very upset at you for being outside.
Yeah,
at
I
night."
guess that'll happen. Bye.
And then they're just like, all right, he's got a point. So they stay the night. And they start like hearing these noises. And the wolf wakes up and he's like, where's my fucking friends? Where's Ducky? And where's the sheep one whose name I forgot? The other one's Ducky. I don't remember the sheep. And so he wakes up and he's looking around. He can't find him. And then he finds this like basement. He goes in the basement and he finds Ducky just like tied to this chair, just fucked up, like carved open, sliced open, dissected, all that shit,
Oof.
just absolutely fucked up. And he's like, oh shit, Ducky, what the fuck? And then you see all these other corpses of like Halloween's past. And the golden bunny guy just like, you shouldn't be up. You did this to yourself. We got to punish you for being bad. You're being real naughty. Oh, naughty wolf. We're going to have to punish you. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Okay,
and then
between
it
the noises
just
happening,
slices him up, carves him up, and just kills this wolf.
Jesus.
And that's the mysterious house.
Hmm.
The next one, Boozoo's Ghosts. It's it's literally just a Muppets Christmas Carol, but Boozoo as Scrooge, but way more fucked up.
Okay.
It continues with Boozoo seeing the ghosts of like Christmas past.
Okay.
And Christmas past is like, oh, you fucking suck. You're a horrible human. You're gonna fucking die. And he's like, I don't want to die. And he wakes up. And then he gets haunted by the ghost of Christmas present, who's basically just like, hey, I am a reflection of all the shitty things you are. You fucking suck, dude. And he's like, no, I promise I'm okay. And I don't suck. And they're just like, no, you fucking suck. And it's like showing about his past and how he treats people poorly, how he never cared about anybody. And then, because it literally is Muppets Christmas Carol. Like he owns like a toy shop, and
Gotcha.
Banny works for him. She breaks a mug, and he's like, "That's coming out of your paycheck." And she's like, "How am I supposed to afford food?" He's like, "Not my chair, not my problem, my guy. Like you fucked up here."
not my problem.
Whose chair is this?
Seahorse, sea hell.
Mr. Balloon Hands.
All right. I got balloons for hands.
And then the last ghost is like this weird looking bunny. Like it's a rainbow colored kind of fucked up bunny thing. And it's just like, yeah, your time is coming. We're fucking coming for you, man. Like that's it. You're done, son. All because of the shitty things you've done in the past. And then he starts mentioning, and it shows these two little dolls of a boy and a girl. And he's like, no, like, I didn't mean to like hurt them. Please come back. Like, I don't want this to happen. I'm sorry. And it shows those dolls as getting more and more progressively fucked up. And then finally, the weird bunny ghost of Chris's future thing is like, time for you to die. Like, I don't make the rules. You're fucking dying here right now. We're doing the damn thing. And he's like, oh, please, like, let me make it up. Please, I want to live. I'm sorry I did this to you guys. I'm sorry I did this to you too. I didn't mean to. And then they fucking murder him. They absolutely crush his bitch ass. And I think it's supposed to tell you that Boozoo is Felix Kranken. And his name is Boozoo because he's an alcoholic.
Okay.
Booze.
Yeah, he's boozing.
That makes sense. I could get behind that. Maybe we'll find that out in the next episode that comes out.
Maybe.
So you think they all the animatronics ganged up on?
100%. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting.
Mushed him up.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, Vengeance Tale.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Remember how I said no before? Well, the reason I kind of said no before is because Martin said that these aren't canon, but this seems like a canon bit of the story.
It's got a lot of correlation for sure.
Or just a hint, like a
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Walten Files.
So, what do you think happened to Jack Walton? Because I don't think that's
no. It's kind of a mystery. I think him and Rosemary share Bond. I think they're in it together.
Okay.
Because Bond, I think if I remember correctly, is already alive by the time Rosemary gets shoved into him.
Because
So-
Rosemary's the one that, Bond's the one that shoves Rosemary into Shaw.
Or Shaw, yes. I think Jack is in Bond.
Yeah.
I think it started off as a vengeance thing where he's out to get Felix, and that's how he does it.
But he ends up murdering his family.
Yeah, because he wants to be with them.
Oh, yeah, and now they're all beautiful like his kids.
Exactly. They're all together again. They're all beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So they all look the way that they should, like together. So why didn't he murder Sophie?
Because he was supposed to. Remember when he murdered Brian Stells, he said
Right.
that he thought I was her. And Sophie's blonde hair.
Oh, right.
So he tried
Okay.
to, just
Yeah.
fucked up and killed the wrong person.
Yeah.
Classic bait and switch.
Ooh. Classic.
Yeah, so it,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay.
See?
Damn.
I'm
who's-
smart sometimes.
That's a fucking that was an amazing theory, Mike.
Thank you.
Then who's making Sophie take the pills?
Sophie. I think she, honestly, I
Sophie's
legit
taking them
think
herself.
she got herself on the pills to forget.
Or Felix.
Or Felix, but then she forgot that she made her take the pills.
Right.
So she just started taking them thinking it's just an everyday normal thing that people do.
Damn.
Okay.
That or maybe
So you don't think it's like Felix trying to make her
I think it's Felix.
like he's still pulling the
it
strings?
might be. It's entirely
yeah,
possible.
I think it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think Felix.
I
is-
think Felix is doing
like-
everything he can to like control the situation. And
or Bunny Smiles, they are
Yeah.
defunct, quote unquote, but maybe they're still going.
yeah, maybe who knows? Like, there are so many unanswered questions that we have a basis for like what happened there.
Yeah.
But
You can also find Martin Walls on like Twitter and everything. He's not the most active, but he's on there pretty good.
Hmm.
All in all,
I have
though,
one more question before we
yes,
How'd you feel about it?
I was
Did
just
you
about to
like?
ask that.
Did you like it?
I'll let you guys
Oh, okay.
answer.
Okay.
I already know
All
your
right.
answer. I enjoyed it. I thought it was like I didn't like the cookie cutter tearaway from Five Nights at Freddy's. Like it's so much of this story was taken almost directly from the Freddy Fazbear story and lore. But there's definitely some original parts to it, and the way it was told was
Yeah.
very creative. But a lot of it was borrowed for sure, or at least inspired. But that's not to say it wasn't enjoyable. I enjoyed watching this way more than I enjoyed playing Five Nights at Freddy's. So there is that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that it definitely takes the like killer animatronics and makes it darker,
Yes.
which I enjoy. Like it's a step more fucked up
Yeah.
than Five Nights at Freddy's, which is cool. I think there are some parts of it that are a little unimaginative. Like we've already been over the names
Yeah.
of things.
Yes.
Like the relocate project.
Project Milkshake.
But overall, I think it's well done. What you said about the video game coming first makes sense because it's the most well done part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by it. Overall, I think I enjoyed it. It's not a 10 out of 10. I would rank this like a 7. Probably a 7.
That's about where I'd put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you,
I
Mike?
fucking hated it.
I knew that was
Just
coming.
kidding. No, I didn't hate it. I just want to see what you say.
All right. Well, guess Martin Walls
Yeah,
isn't
right.
coming on.
No, I'm kind of on the same boat with you guys. I'm fascinated at why of all the analog horrors, and I don't mean this as like a slight to Martin Walls, because like you said, this was super entertaining, much better than a Five Nights at Freddy's story.
Oh yeah.
Like you can tell this story,
Yeah.
you can tell someone what this story is in like a 2 minute, in like 2 minutes.
well, like
I
Matt
could-
just did.
Fucking Matt Pat has been trying to explain what Five Nights at Freddy's has been for the last 12 years. That plot you cannot figure out. This one, it's cohesive.
Yeah.
It's very clear what's going on, and that's how it fucking should be with an analog horror.
Well, video game lore is usually a fucking mess.
It's a
Yeah,
nightmare.
but
Well,
the-
they had to hire a fucking lore master
Yeah,
for
right.
what was it? It wasn't Five Nights. There's another game that shouldn't have as much lore as it does, but it fucking does.
I don't know. I
I hate that everything has to be a universe,
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
podcast.
yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I'm still like, no slight to him, but I don't know how this one got so obscenely popular compared to all the other analog horrors when this is getting on like this is going off of a Five Nights at Freddy's thing, which
but that was very popular.
It was very popular. It still is popular, but it's nowhere near what it was 10 years ago or something. So it's weird how this one this has more views per video than Local 58 does. How does that happen? You know what I mean?
Especially when they do like a tip of the hat to Local 58 in it.
It's just it's on its core, it's a Five Nights at Freddy's clone that somehow has gotten almost, if not more popular than any like overtly original and creative analog horror that's been out there. And I don't mean that as a plight to him. I'm just saying I don't know how you did it. I'm super happy
for you, for
happy
sure.
that fucking worked out for you, my guy. I'm not going to complain because the story's written wonderfully and you deserve it. It's just seeing how this took off and seeing how things like some of the ones that we cover only get maybe like 10,000 views. It's weird how that contrast is, how this one would get 8 million per video and some of the other ones with equally as in-depth lore and creativity get like maybe a couple thousand. It's just weird how that works.
Well, hopefully we can go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
I was going to say there are certainly things out there that are like deeper and more intricate that are like I think more impressive from a story perspective and like a puzzle perspective than this is. But I think what this does well that makes it easy to rack up views is that this one just kind of assaults you with stimuli the entire time.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
Whereas something like Local 58, like you have to sit there and there are periods of like a minute and a half in stuff like Local 58 where just nothing is happening at all.
Yep.
Especially if you're not paying attention, where this is just like, this is happening. Animatronics are murdering people. Like there's video games on the screen.
Yeah, and even the fucking whole hour-long video game video, like that, there wasn't much in that wasn't pertinent to anything. And like you said, a lot of analog horror has a lot of filler to it just to help keep that atmosphere alive.
Yeah, I will say, Martin Wall, if you're listening, which you're not, and that's okay, I feel you rely a bit too much on the stereotypical analog horror jump scare, and that's okay, but you can do other things too. That's all I'm saying.
You have Mike's permission.
You can do more than just a blown up image of a fucked up face on the screen. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, maybe he will.
Yeah,
we've got more episodes coming.
I'm not trying to sound like I'm hating it. I'm not. I'm just saying.
You just don't like it.
I feel like if this is probably the biggest analog horror, like the most popular one that's out there right now.
Yeah,
I feel like it's justifiable to critique it just a smidge, and that's
absolutely.
okay. And Martin,
we're not
Walls,
shitting on the creator.
Yeah.
Martin Walls, if you're listening, you are very successful, very creative, and a very, very smart, intellectual story writing person, and I appreciate that.
You are good at what you do.
But if you would like, I don't know, some help,
some free unsolicited advice,
hit me up. I'll tag team the next episode with you.
Mike will be your idea
I'll be your
man.
idea guy. We'll knock it out together. Trust me.
He'll be your Steve Jobs. You can be
exactly.
as well.
I will be your Elon Musk. I'll come into an already successful thing and I will run it into the ground.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ever contact us, is what Mike is saying.
Yeah, or pay us $8.
Yeah. Pay us $8. You can talk to us, and we'll see.
You know, actually, where you can pay us $8 is at patreon.com/deludipod.
You can.
You can. That's a weird number because it's not a tier, but
it's
you
5
could.
or 10, but yeah.
Or 7.
Or 7, yeah.
But you can go to deludipod.com to find links on our website to everywhere. You can go to linktree.com/deludipod to also find links. You can go to youtube.com/at deludipod. We have a handle on YouTube now, so it's youtube.com/at deludipod. Hit us up there. We want that to blow up because that's how we get interviews with creators. So that's like our main route. If you could leave us some reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I typically read those off on the show here when we get them. And like I mentioned on Twitter, once we hit 400 Spotify reviews, I'm going to have the boys dressed in Victorian age garb, and then we're going to take a couple pictures.
What?
Yep. So it's going to be a good time. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Okay.
Was it shop.deludipod.com?
Deludipod.com, or deludipod.com. Either one. Store.deludipod.com.
Store.deludipod.com.
Okay.
For all of our...
There was police going by my house. No. I couldn't.
You can go there and get a bunch of merch. I'm stuck on a thing. Sorry, hang on. I'm no longer caged. You can go there, buy some merch. That'd be super cool if you bought merch. I would love you tenderly if you bought merch.
Or roughly. It's really your preference.
Fuck you
Gently.
That. buymeacoffee.com. buymeacoffee.com/DeludiePod. Let's be real. It's booze.
It's booze.
It's booze.
Boozoo.
Go plant a tooth in the ground now because this is the best time. That way it gets properly ready in the soil.
You can harvest it in spring then.
Yeah,
so summer.
that way when the spring and summer comes, you got a nice little calcified tree. And then you are ready to pick those and give them to me.
Yeah, if you want some decorative teeth, harvest in spring. But if you want something you can really sink your
Google
own
phone number
teeth into. God.
630-909-9366. Text us or leave us a voicemail. We'll play the voicemail on here. We have a couple more that we're going to play. So,
Hell yeah.
Doug, add those.
Doug. Hey, Doug.
630-909-9366 is that phone number.
Perfect. If you want to get a hold of us, you know how to.
Yep.
There
Jason,
it
do you
is.
have anything to say? People, people, boo, boo, boo.
Yeah, I mean, as always, fucking please stay paranoid so we can continue talking to you lovely folk. But also just stay away from any, animatronic based establishments for right now. Chuck E. Cheese, Bond's Burgers,
Showtime Pizza Bear.
Yep.
That one, definitely.
Yep. But also go on to Spotify and just give a follow to the Showstoppers, which is the animatronic Bond's Burger band. So if you want to give them some awareness, go ahead and check them out.
Go listen to Unplanned Podnancy.
Yeah.
You can do
As
that.
always, link
You
in
can
the
listen to me.
description.
It's Matt and Chris's show, and it's lovely.
Hoist your friends up by
Chris
their
is
britches. Or not. Matt, what do you have to say to the people?
Continue existing. Be good to yourselves. Be good to other people. And remember that you matter.
Remember.
That you matter.
Yep. The 5th of November matters. So do you.
Doug, what do you got to say to the people? I suck.
Redacted.
That works too.
Well,
I fucking suck. Yeah, you sure do, Doug.
It would probably just be vape noises.
yeah, it probably would. Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you guys next week as always. And I don't know, in the meantime,
630-909-9366.
Redacted.
just had to make sure.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Boy.
Hi, Deludie dudes. My name is Kay. I'm from Michigan, and I'm a writer. Yeah. Most importantly, I'm a horror writer, and I've been doing it for quite a few years now. And yeah, I just wanted to say hi. I love what you guys are doing. I'm having a great time listening through everything, and I was wondering if there was any chance or any way I could send some of my writing over to you guys and see what you guys think, see if you guys think I should post it anywhere or even try to get it published or anything like that. And yeah, feel free to, I don't know, message me. I don't know. But yeah, cool. Thanks. Bye.